Hello everyone, good afternoon, welcome back to Real Reds Talk, your authentic football fan channel dedicated to Manchester United. This is your morning news show with me and Shreyas. A morning news show, it's not morning, it's afternoon, it's because I woke up late and I've had a late night, ignore that. We've got loads of stuff to discuss, Shreyas. We're going to touch on Ahmad and Garnacho's future at the club. We've got round 99 of the bids or whatever's going on with that ownership situation at the moment. A little bit of transfer news regarding the Korean centre-back Kim Minje. And we'll touch on the Women's FA Cup final and Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough in the playoff finals as well. But before we do that, how are you, sir?
Yeah, doing perfectly well. Tomorrow my exam starts, so I need to do the stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a high pressure exam? Is it a big boy? What are we saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Medium?
Yeah.
Like a mid-table, like a Aston Villa kind of exam?
Yeah, like the Carabao Cup.
Like the Carabao Cup, okay. Well, let's not say that because we actually won that trophy. So if we win it, obviously it's one of the best trophies to win. But if anybody else wins
it's better than winning the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the actual trophy. And don't forget we won the Bangkok Cup as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very important
at the start,
to remember.
The first ever game of Eric Ten Hag and he managed to win a trophy.
Yeah, amazing. He's been doing this since he literally walked through the door. Brian Casey's in the chat saying, good afternoon to you, sir. Always can rely on Brian to be in the chat, so thank you very much. Before we dive into everything, you guys know the script already. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on the video and share to a friend as well. If you know anyone who loves football content, send them a message. Real Reds Talk, you know where it's at. Right then, take a sip of your coffees, because that's what I'm going to do right now. If it's not too hot, probably going to burn my lips off. Oh, beautiful. And let's get into these topics together then. So, I'm going to start with what's basically, essentially on the graphic, Ahmad and Garnacho. Their performances yesterday, wonderful. I mean, Ahmad, the goal he scored for Sunderland in the playoffs, by the way, high pressure moments, unbelievable finish. And then Garnacho, he's had 7 weeks out, I think, something like that, with an ankle injury. Comes back like he left and scores a really important goal. And all the goals he scored really are important when you look back at him. What lies in the future for them, Shreyas? How impressed have you been with Ahmad and Garnacho as well?
I think Garnacho might just be able to end the season with 10 goals or something, in this season. He's been scoring a lot of goals. I think he scored around 7 to 8 goals this season.
Well, I've got a thing on that. So get on this. Jack Grealish, age 27, 100 million, 5 goals. Yeah. Mudryk, age 22, 100 million, 0 goals. Garnacho, age 18, 420 grand, 5 goals.
Yeah. So. I mean, and he might be able to end the season with, he might be able to get into double digits this season for goals and assists. Once again, I think him coming on in that Wolves game, I think we needed that sort of, flair from that left wing. More than flair, we needed that clinicality in front of goal. And I think Garnacho was able to provide us with that. The one opportunity that he got, when he came on, I think he got on for about 10 minutes or 5 minutes or something. And the one opportunity he got, he converted into a goal. I think Garnacho is going to play a big role next season. I think next season him and Rashford are going to be, competing for that left wing position. And Garnacho, I think...
What side to have as well, by the way. Yeah. The left side of Rashford and Garnacho.
Yeah.
Cooking, mate. Absolutely cooking.
Yeah, I mean, if you're if you're playing against a team, then you decide to either sub on Rashford or either sub on, Garnacho. When their legs are tired, you're in a very comfortable position of that left-hand side. And I think with Ahmad, it is the same thing. And I think with Ahmad, the thing is, Anthony should genuinely be a little... worried about this case, because Ahmad might be able to force him out of the team. I think Anthony is a very good player. I think yesterday he could have gotten 2 goals and 3 assists, maybe. Genuinely, I think his dribbling and his technical ability on the ball is very, very good. He's still very young. He's blessed with pace, but his decision making is by far the worst, I would say. In front, if you have
it's terrible.
Yeah, if you have to consider with
I was actually surprised, when he squared it yesterday. Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's actually passed it." What the fuck's going on? I said to my mates before the game, Shreyas, it was like, "Oh, what bet should I put on?" I said, honestly, I'm not even joking. I would have Anthony to have 5 shots, whether they're off target or on target, because it happens every single game, doesn't it?
He could have played in Martial at the start of the game, within the 10-minute mark. He could have played him in, and Martial could have genuinely gotten a goal. And I don't know. Yesterday, I think Anthony could have scored a couple of goals, could have gotten 3 assists as well. I think Sancho could have gotten a goal yesterday as well when he went in near post, but genuinely could have easily been converted. And I think with our front three, this is the biggest issue right now, that whenever we are around the box, we decide to shoot rather than playing people in. The one time we decided to play someone in, we managed to bag a goal. The one time we decided to do that.
The way Man City score a lot of their goals is by the it's a little bit different now with Erling Haaland, but previously they would get right to the byline, square it, and that's where they score most.
Yeah,
you kind of decrease. You increase the accuracy of your shots going in if you're hitting them from that kind of range.
In that City team, if it's not De Bruyne, no one really goes in for a shot outside of the box. Genuinely, they don't.
Yeah.
And
but then that's because De Bruyne can just do what he's
exactly.
Madrid,
and what they usually do is that they keep on playing the ball around the box, or within the box they keep on playing the ball around, and when a good option or a good space appears, then they decide to go for a shot. The thing with us is even though there might be 3 or 4 defenders, even the shot might get blocked, we still decide to go in for a shoot. We saw the Anthony doing that, we saw Bruno doing that, we even saw Eriksen doing that. Whenever Eriksen was around the ball in the box, he would he just decided to shoot. And I think that's a big concern, considering the type of teams we are going to be coming up against in the next few fixtures. We need to take our chances. And I think yesterday, the worst, I would say chance that we missed was when I think we were on the counter, whether I think it was a corner or a set piece from Wolves, and Anthony was, able to completely bully either it was Neves or Podence off, and he was just completely running off that right hand side, and he waited.
Got into the final third,
and then he made the worst pass in history. Completely, it blew the attack completely. So with Ahmad, the thing is, he's really good with passing around the box. He's
composure.
He's very composure. His positional sense, he's right behind the striker. So even if the ball goes in for a rebound, he's the first person who's going to pounce on it for a goal. And he isn't the kind of player who decides to actually shoot a lot. He's more of a dribbler and a passer rather than a shooter. So I think next season Anthony and Ahmad is going to be a very tough competition. If Anthony is able to work on his finishing and a little bit of his decision making, I think he genuinely might be able to end next season with double digits in goals and assists. I think he can score a lot of goals. I think he's he gets in the right areas at the right time as well. His decision making and finishing is letting him down a lot.
It's quite scary, isn't it? Garnacho's 18 years old and Diallo's only 20 years old as well. And then for the future, like really, really exciting. Brian saying Ahmad has done it again, showing his true qualities. Definitely deserves to be in the first team next year and could easily push Sancho out. That's what I mean. Look at Jadon Sancho at the minute. I would start Garnacho over Sancho. Timmy said it after the review last night. I literally just put a clip up about 20 minutes ago. 100%, because he's performing better. It's as simple as that. Henry Jones saying, I think that Garnacho has been one of the best pieces of business by United in the last 5 years. With Ahmad, I think that has to be a passion for football and gains connection with the fans wherever he's at. So he clearly wants to play for us and he'll be wanting to help the team, getting them assists and scoring some goals. I think that Ahmad should try and get 8 goals and 4 assists next year. Look, the benchmark can be wherever it be for these youngsters. Do you think with the right coaching and development, these two could genuinely be megastars?
I think they genuinely might. And I think even if, they might not be able to make it at United, whichever club these two players decide to go to, they'll make a big name for themselves. I think at such a young age, they're doing really well. Ahmad with Sunderland, Garnacho, I would say the breakout star of the year for us this season at United. I think with these two players, the thing is, if we don't make something out of them, any other club might be able to make something big out of them. So, I think we're very, very lucky that we've got Ten Hag who knows how to develop these young players. We've got the perfect coach to actually, get these raw gems and, turn them into diamonds. So, I think next season we might be able to see, a better idea as to how they fit into the squad. I think Garnacho does. I think with Ahmad, we still have to see how he fits into the team when he gets back into the club. And 2 years from now, probably we might be seeing an attack where Garnacho and Ahmad might be starting together.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I think he did put an Instagram post out, didn't he? I don't know if you saw it, his story. And he put a picture of Ahmad saying, wow, what a talent, or something along the lines of that. So they can, Clearly see. Game recognises game. We put a poll up at the start of the show saying, should Ahmad be a part of the first team next season? 82% said yes. 9% said sell him, and another 9% said another loan. Whoever it is said sell him, announce your name in the comments right now, and I'm going to absolutely roast you.
I would say one thing though. I think if next season we are not able to get, like that number 8 that we want, like the midfielder that we want next season, that one midfielder which we want to get in, I would put Bruno in 8, I would put Casemiro as 6, and I would put Ahmad in the 10. I think he can do a very, very good job at 10 as well, because if he's playing right behind the strike, right now he's playing as pretty much a right forward in Sunderland.
Yeah,
that's why he's playing so well, because he's very close to, like that second striker, which we used to see a lot in earlier times. He's playing that, like that sort of. Yeah. So if you don't get a midfielder in, put Ahmad in the 10 and, push Bruno into the 8.
Yeah, I've said this for a while. I feel like where he plays for Sunderland in that half space, it's like, when we used to play Juan Mata out on the right, or whenever David Silva played for Valencia, they'd be on the wings, but they'd always drift inside, a bit like Bernardo Silva as well. They'd always like that inside area. And I just think, if he develops his game, because of his awareness as well, he's an intelligent footballer, which always helps. And he works hard off the ball. The reason why Sancho didn't really work in the 10, I mean, he was all right against Leicester. But the reason why he didn't work in the 10 really is because he's worked rate off the ball as well. And he's sometimes,
that number 10 position needs to be, the person who plays in that position,
nearly everything.
They need to be very, very, good when it comes to their work rate. Like, they need to be every single, they need to be in every single spot on the pitch. That's why Bruno is actually so influential in every single game, because he's everywhere on the pitch. Like, if you watch any single game that we've had this season, you will see him in defense, you will see him in the midfield, you will see him in the attack. There is no area of the pitch where Bruno Fernandes isn't present. So that number 10 position, whoever plays has to do a lot of work off the ball as well.
Yeah, Brian saying 100% agree. Shreyas Ten Hag is the perfect coach to integrate Ahmad into the first team next season, like he has done with Garnacho. Henry Jones, totally agree with Brian. Ten Hag has developed loads of young players, and he's not afraid of getting rid if they don't put the effort in. He did it with Noah Lang at Ajax. Yeah, and then Ratika with some lovely emojis as well. So thank you very much. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around these parts. Just kind of on a little bit, the last bit on the young stars, let's just say. Why do you think your boy Palestri hasn't had as much light as these two?
I really don't know.
What's going on there?
I really don't know. I think genuinely after what we saw yesterday, I think I would have put him in place of Anthony, yesterday after the first half, because the kind of opportunities that Anthony was missing, you wouldn't expect anyone. If you pick any team in the league, if you replicate those chances for them, their players, I don't think they miss those sort of opportunities. You pick any team in the league, even Chelsea would be able to finish those sort of chances off, and we weren't finishing those chances off. I think whenever he's gotten the opportunity, he's done really well. He's actually done really well. In the cup, he did really well against Batiste. I think he did really well. And I think it was the game against Southampton where Casemiro got sent off. The moment Palestri and Garnacho came on, things just started to flow a lot more through the flanks. And I think I really don't know why. Maybe it's because Ten Hag doesn't really trust the team enough to, even if you are 1 goal up or 2 goal up to, actually. I think ever since putting Weghorst on in that game where we were 2 goals up against Tottenham, he has that, fear of us actually, just throwing the game all together. Maybe it's that, but I would want him to be more involved, because I think he's better than Elanga. And in this point of time, I think he's much, much better than Elanga. I think he goes out on loan next season, and I think I think he might be able to have a loan spell like Ahmad. Maybe whether
there's no question if Maguire and Weghorst are getting more minutes than a Palestra, you can say the seasoned internationals and blah 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 and all that kind of jazz. Let's be honest. Weghorst does nothing in this team. His output is just minimal, very, very minimal. I was going to say Shreyas then in the minutes that he's got. Palestra, it might as well be Shreyas because it's your boy in it. But Palestra in the minutes that he's got, I thought he's been really impressive. I thought, when he got that, I think it was Batiste in particular when he came on. Or what was the game where he came on and he ran past like 3 or 4 people, got to the byline and put it in the box? Was that
Batiste, when he went in with the cross and we managed to kill the game off. Yeah.
And I saw that, I thought, all right, well, here's his moment now. This is now time where you can kind of build on this and then get another maybe 20 minutes in the next game and blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't strike me as the kid to have an attitude. He just doesn't look like that kind of guy now. look, we don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe behind closed doors he does. We heard things about Garnacho at the start of the season where it was like, oh, we had a bit of this about him or whatever, but it just doesn't strike me as that kid. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
He just needs
Maybe
to play.
he will get
I
a
think
loan.
next season he goes out on loan. I think he gets more minutes. Probably he comes back and gets integrated into the team because, once again, he's a player who can play in the 10. He can play left wing. He can play right wing as well. He's been, for that Uruguayan national team, he's practically been played every single place in attack, center forward, 10, right wing, left wing, and he's done good for them. He played basically every single game for them in the World Cup as well. So there's no doubt about his talent and people actually trusting him. I think it just comes down to the fact that he's not had that many opportunities to actually play in the league. Probably, I think next season he could even go out on loan to a team within the Premier League itself.
Hope so. I hope so. Brandon is in the chat. Who's a Real Red Ultra. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra, make sure you click that join button next to the notification bell for exclusive content every single Monday, a badge next to your name, and the chance to feature on the show when we get our starting 11. He's saying Viva Garnacho. Obviously still buzzing after yesterday's game. And Brian's saying the Palestri situation is so strange. He has showed in his brief cameos that he has a talent, unless it's an attitude thing beside the scenes that we're not seeing. That's what I mean. You just never know, do you? Sometimes things come out from the club. You're like, oh, okay, that's why. But I don't know. Like, yeah, it's not adding up for me. Maybe we'll see pre-season when they come in. I want to see. First thing I want to see when we head into June is one, win the FA Cup first and foremost. And then when we go into pre-season, I want to see Ahmad, Garnacho, and Palestra on the pitch. That is what I want to see. Throw whoever the fuck you want up top. Throw Weghorst up top if you want. I want to see them three
if
in the
Weghorst
team.
is still here.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. I don't want to see Weghorst in the team, actually, because that would mean he's probably still going to be here.
Yeah.
So, no, piss Weghorst off. And then, I don't know who you want to throw up top. Marshall, if he's fit enough. Whoever. Do we even have a Joe Hugo, if you want to throw him in?
Yeah, Charlie McNeil, whoever you want.
I don't know. I think they're going to go with that anyway for the pre. I think they're going to start with a lot of the youngsters because some of our games are against like Wrexham, we've got like Arsenal towards the end. So
we've got Dortmund as well, the second game in there. So that would be a good game. Interesting.
Yeah. That is someone who I would look to loan out to, by the way. If I'm going to loan a Palestri or an Ahmad or something like that.
Yeah, Dortmund is the perfect place to go.
Yeah, absolutely. But I suppose it all depends in the summer, doesn't it, on what happens with the ownership situation, and that's exactly what we're going to touch on next, Shreyas. So the Mail Sport, e.g. Mike Keegan, who works for them, I think, who's been very reliable on this, but I don't know if this is coming from him directly or just his outlet, and maybe I should have researched that, but I don't care. Sources close to both Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sheikh Jassim feel stories about Ratcliffe now being in pole position may in fact be part of a strategic play by the Rain Group to squeeze yet bigger bids from both parties. There is an acceptance that Rain and or the Glazers might simply be trying to maximise the sales price, but Sheikh Jassim also remains confident in his bid around $5 billion for 100% of the club. Your thoughts on that? Do you reckon there's any substance to that?
I think maybe there is. The thing is, ever since we've heard that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been in pole position, how many times has the same thing come about? With this being a major point in every single news article that has come out that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been in pole position. I think, the way they are actually putting it in, it seems a little bit suspicious to me as to, why are you, quoting the same point over and over and over again when, you believe that it's true. Like, when it was rumored that, Sheikh Jassim put in a 5 billion bid for Manchester United, we didn't see the same thing being repeated like 5 to 6 times in, any single news article that came out after it. So, I think it might actually be a situation where no one actually knows anything and they're, just putting things in just to, create more views and, get more taps. But I think right now, I would genuinely say that both of them have a 50-50 chance of actually making it. They genuinely do. I think till the time a reliable source actually comes out with something definite, we can't really be sure about anything. Whether it's Qatar, whether it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I think both of them have a 50-50 chance, and it might be a situation where both of them don't actually know what's going on with the club, like how the Glazers want to proceed with that.
Well, we've got everybody in the chat. I'm interested to hear everyone's opinion. So anyone who's watching right now, drop it in the comment section. Who do you think? Do you think it'll be Sir Jim after all the recent news? Or do you think Qatar will make another massive bid because the last one apparently was underwhelming. They were saying they're going to blow the competition out the water and all this kind of stuff. But then you heard things like, oh, well, we're not going to overpay. So you're like, well, that kind of contradicts the sentiment, but whatever. And now their actual bid was less than Sir Jim Ratcliffe, both of his bids.
Yeah.
So one of the Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bids is 50% of the club, but he's offering like £3 billion. So that would value the club at £6 billion. And then he eventually buys the other siblings out. And then his other one was 69%. He buys the whole of the Glazers. And then I think there's still some shareholders or something along the lines of that. But one thing I wanted to mention, and I did a little bit of research last night. I wasn't on the watch long, obviously, you guys know, because I went and watched Tom Segura. I got back and I was looking into the situation, the ownership specifically for today. And I was listening to someone and he was talking about something this is something that someone hasn't mentioned. So with Sheikh Jassim, he's part of the QIB, which is Qatari Interbank or something along the lines of that. But he's also part of Credit Suisse. Now, Credit Suisse are a huge bank in Switzerland that he's the chief executive on the board. Yeah. And they've recently just lost billions and billions of pounds and gone bust, basically. So this has put a black mark next to his name in terms of when you're going in and buying for something. And apparently this has had an effect on that. And apparently it's had an effect on proof of funds and all this kind of stuff. So whether that's legit or not, I know it's legit about the Credit Suisse thing, but that could be playing a part in this, and the fact that, you know, Jim Ratcliffe is basically giving the Glazers what they want and getting into bed with them. That's why they're favourites at the minute. I don't think it's a full-blown conclusion though, as it stands. But look, it's different for everyone. Everyone's got a different opinion on it, and I don't think a lot of people know the actual situation. I think a lot of what you're hearing, guys, and what everybody sees on Twitter and everything, all this kind of stuff, is all PR basically, and it's all spin from each side, from Qatar and Sheikh Jassim. You're seeing Doha News saying So Club's going to bid with £6 billion for your next bid. And then you're getting some like the Times Sport saying basically Jim Ratcliffe's in the final stages. So you just don't know what to do with yourself, do you, Shreyas?
I think it's just, British articles, European articles pushing Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Asian articles, Southeastern Asian articles, and Middle Eastern articles pushing, Qatar in. And I think that is why I think it's so confusing and unclear as to, which source you want to go with, because you practically got thousands of sources to go with, and you will find, half of them supporting Sir Jim Ratcliffe and half of them supporting Qatar to actually, buy the club. And the funniest part about everything is the Glazers still haven't actually come out and said something officially about what is actually going on. So they're in right now, the best situation for this sale is with the Glazers, because they know what's going on. Even Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Qatar don't know what is actually going on. So if they want, they might go in with another round. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to have another round of bids. But I really don't understand as to what they're trying to achieve, because you're getting a good amount as it is. How much more money do you want to squeeze out? I really don't understand how much more money they genuinely want to squeeze out, because we've had like 5 to 6 rounds already of this bidding. We've seen a lot of people go out through these bidding rounds as well. You're down to pretty much, the final 2, and you're still, trying to...
It's a boxing match. Yeah. You've got 12 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. And this is just going to hurt our transfer window. Like we've seen Ten Hag actually come out and said that I've already made preparations for next season. I know the players I want, and what positions I actually want to fill in. But if the ownership situation isn't sorted out, you won't get the funds to actually pull those signings off, and that's a big concern. So if this doesn't really get this sale thing doesn't get over by the end of this week, like till 20th, I think our transfer window will get affected because of it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Let us know your thoughts, guys. Please do, about the ownership situation. We just really don't know what's going on at the minute, do we? Are you feeling a little bit nervous that Sir Jim might win it? Do you think Qatar will come in with a last-minute bid? We've got Shah Sam in the chat saying there's no doubt Ahmad is talented if he comes back from loan. I see a situation turning, being like Palestra. Ten Hag will not drop Anthony and Bruno for him. So I see it's the best solution for him is to be loaned out to a Prem team. Very interesting. I mean, he could do that. And it's also, we have to be cautious not to get too excited, because I think James Garner had a fantastic loan with Nottingham Forest in the Championship. He came up and then we sold him. And everyone was like, whoa, what's going on here? So I hope that doesn't happen. If that happens with Ahmad, trust me, it'll be an hour show with me on here just with a box of Kleenex, just crying. Liza around me said, "Hi guys, good show topic. Just came on. I just want to ask what you think of Zidane not getting much game time after Ten Hag speaking very highly of him in pre-season." That's another one as well. These games are not. These guys are not dumb. They're going to sell to Qatar. It's more beneficial to them, monetary speaking. Also, state-wise, they'll benefit from this game. They are trying to squeeze Qatar for more money. I mean, there's a lot of sorry, I'll just take your point about Zidane first, and then I'll just discuss on that. Zidane Iqbal as well is another one, isn't he? Shreya's like, what's going on with him? Him and McNeil starting in midfield, and then we move into. I didn't even mean that to rhyme then, but I did. Him and McNeil starting in midfield.
Savage.
Oh yeah, not McNeil. I said McNeil. Someone put McNeil in the chat before. I don't know who it was. Someone put, McNeil, go back on loan, far too young. I thought they meant Dwight McNeil at first. Dwight McNeil, get him on a corner. Get him on a corner and get Tarkowski at the end of it. Yeah, sorry. Zidane, Iqbal, quick thoughts?
There's just nothing, there's genuinely been nothing about him ever, after pre-season. We've seen Kobe Menu get more minutes than Zidane Iqbal this season. So probably it is that he's not ready yet. Maybe he's not getting the minutes because Ten Hag wants him to go out on loan next season. But I think it's very unclear as to why he hasn't really been that involved. Because I think in pre-season he looked really good. Like he genuinely looked better than Fred and McTominay. So either it's that, or except maybe it's the fact that our midfield right now, we might not have good players, but we have a lot of players to play in that midfield position where Zidane Iqbal plays. We've got Eriksen, you've got Sabitzer, you've got Bruno, then you've got McTominay as well as Fred, and then you had Donny as well. So that was 6 midfielders who could play in that number 8 position for us. And then on the 9th slot, you've got Zidane Iqbal. So once again, it's a thing that we've said that on a lot of occasions, that these players who are not good enough end up taking the opportunities of these youngsters who could get involved, who could get minutes, some exposure, and might be able to get some experience, and probably be able to get themselves a shot at getting in the starting 11. But till the time, we've got so many players, we've got 6 to 8 midfielders who could play in that position. You can't really expect anyone to actually even make the bench. The fact that players like Garnacho and players like Batiste have even been involved this much and been on the bench so regularly is because we don't really have attackers. We don't really have that many attackers at the club, and the ones we have are already injured.
Yeah. We've got loads of people in the chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. All the usuals. Hani Ascara, lovely to see yourself. It says, it feels good that Garnacho didn't lose his form after his baby boy news. As many people lose form and focus family, it feels delightful that he is managing both areas of his life easily. And he's only 18 years old. I can't even remember what I was doing at 18 years old. I was probably smoking and drinking and doing some shit that I probably shouldn't be doing. So Garnacho to be playing pretty much regular for Manchester United, just about to have a kid, his head must be exploding at the minute. He must just get home and think, fucking hell, 18 years old, about to have a baby boy. I'm a highly talented winger for Manchester United. I've got all these eyeballs on me. Just signed a massive new contract. The pressure, honestly, it can't be understated. Yeah. It must just be his mentality is insane to deal with that at the age of 18. It really, really is. And like we said, Ahmad, 20 years old. How old's Palestra? He's 21?
21. He's very young.
21. Well. And then Garnacho at 18. That's exciting. That's what I like. The future. Now, if we bring in a strike, we need a young striker. If we can get someone who's a similar age profile to them 3 players that we just mentioned, and get them up. And get a striker, Adieme, could be Sesko, could be anyone. We need some for. I feel like we need replacements for Eriksen and Casemiro, not replacements. But
we've got people who could do a job in their positions as well.
The next heir to the throne. I feel like a new young talent like Madrid. Look at Madrid's midfield. Valverde, Tchouaméni, Bellingham. They're gonna get
Bellingham,
Camavinga.
They still got Kroos and Modric there. And they haven't fallen off a bit. They've genuinely not fallen off a bit.
So for the next 10 years, they are sorted. They're 15. Absolutely fine. They don't need to worry. Probably 15. Yeah, they don't. Well, judging off Modric's age, how old Modric? 36, 37. So, they're sorted for the next 20 years. Madrid are going to be about. You best believe that. And then, not to mention Rodrigo and Vinicius, who they've got in the wings, and Militao at centre back. Their recruitment is just. And
they've also got a new star boy coming in next season in Hendrik from
Hendrik, 16 years old. Yeah. Top player.
Yeah.
Paid 60 million euros for a 16-year-old, by the way.
Yeah.
It's talk about pressure. Fucking hell. Wow.
Yeah.
You are expected to perform there, aren't you, if that's the case? Lies around me saying, I only call Zidane because Ten Hag, when he came, he said, I can't believe why Zidane has not played many games. Mohamed Kudus, Ajax striker. Yeah, Kudus he's a good player, but I don't think he's an out-and-out number 9. He's more like
he's a player like Nkunku. Like
multifunctional.
Yeah, he plays on the wing, he plays as a 10, and he plays as a false 9. But he's a good player
as well.
He's very rapid and he's a very, very good player.
He's good.
But if he comes in, we switch to a false 9. We can't play a striker. He can't play as a striker. He can play as a false 9, and he can do a very good job. But he can't do that sort of role which we want him to do. Which, like, if you want him to pull up and do what Harry Kane does, he can't do that job.
Well, this is our transfer talk, and this was actually a perfect segue into the next kind of section we're going to discuss. Kim Minje, Shreyas, apparently his release clause must be activated between the 1st and the 15th of July. By the way, just very, very quickly, I didn't know, I know this is going slightly back to the other topic. I didn't know I've got the same birthday as Garnacho.
Yeah.
The 2nd of July.
Yeah.
Like, if they're not connected, I don't know what it is. The 2nd of July, same birthday, so I'll be celebrating that with him on July. I'll drop him a little message. You know what to do, Garnacho.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Between the 1st and the 15th of July, is to leave Napoli this summer. There's a concrete hypothesis, which again is kind of conflicting, but okay, that he'll leave. And United are currently in first place in terms of the clubs chasing him. I have to admit personally, I haven't seen much of him, Shreyas. He seems like a leader. His all-around game seems really good from the bits I've seen. Is this someone you would look at bringing to Manchester United?
Yeah, genuinely. And I think I would go for him over Timber now. I'd like what I've seen.
Really?
Yeah. From what I've seen this season from him, I think he's much well-rounded and he's much more mature than Jurriën Timber. Like, Timber is a very good player. He's a very talented player. I think he can be a special player as well. And he will go to a big club, no doubt about it. But if I have to put him in comparison with Kim Min-jae, I think Kim Min-jae, what he's done in one season itself, like Timber has been at Ajax for a long time. Like, he's been there, he's been working with Ten Hag for a long time. Kim Min-jae just came in this season from Fenerbahce for about 7 million or 11 million, something around that range.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they didn't really pay for him a lot. And he's come in and he's replaced Kalidou Koulibaly and did a much better job than what Koulibaly did at Napoli for the past 6 to 8 years. And Koulibaly at Napoli was killing it. Like, we wanted to go in for him instead. We managed to.
Oh, we got Maguire because he was pricing him out.
Yeah. But the fact that he's come in and been a rock. He hasn't really. He's got good pace. He's very aggressive. We've seen what the job that Lisandro does for us at this club. He's just a little bit quicker than Lisandro Martinez. He's the thing that that differentiates them is the pace and the tackling ability. I think the pace and tackling ability that Kim Min-jae has right now is better than Lisandro. But with Lisandro,
so do you think they'd complement each other in that sense? With each other's.
Yep. And we've seen what Varane and Martinez do together at the club. The thing with Kim Min-jae is he's just when you have to look into fitness, he's much more reliable than Rafa Varane. If you have to look into fitness terms, and it's like having a young Eric Bailly with Kim Min-jae. It genuinely is. He's very, very aggressive. He's genuinely very, very aggressive. He puts in his body in every single tackle, and he still doesn't manage to get injured. No matter what trick he pulls out of his bag, he doesn't manage to get injured. And for the price that he's being rumored, like what Napoli have been saying, that he has a release clause active in the first 15 days of the transfer window, he would be a steal of a signing. Like, he genuinely might be a steal of a signing. And if you've got next season and you've got for the centre back positions, you've got Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Victor Lindelof, and then Kim Min-jae, you're sorted in defense. Like, you don't need any other area to actually invest in the defense. You've already got Malassi and Luke Shaw of left back. You've got Wan-Bissaka and Diego Dallo of the right hand side. Our defense would be complete. It genuinely might be complete. You don't need anyone else to actually come in. So for the price being rumored, I would go in for him. Like, I would go in for him now and get him on a deal. He's a very, very good player.
Well, we've got 13 people in the chat. Let us know, Kim Min-jae, would you take him at Manchester United for the release clause fee, which is £50 million, we believe, somewhere around that kind of figure? Would you bring him in? Would he take Varane's spot? That's another question. Do you think he would, Shreyas, if he was to come in?
He might. be able to.
Because you talk about reliability there.
He might be able
and
to.
I think Kim Min-jae's played 33 games, started 33 games for Napoli and played on average like 89 minutes. So that is reliability. And one thing I said I absolutely love Varane. I mean, when he came back yesterday, I thought he was unbelievable. Just looked like he'd never been away. Leader. He's quality. But, and this is a big but, its reliability is very, very questionable at times. Like, so you just don't know. Like, you can have a run with when him and Alessandro were the team together, they was unbelievable, fantastic. One of the best partnerships in the Premier League. But then what happens then after 3 weeks to go away? You got to bring Lindelof in, then you got Shaw and Lindelof, then you got Maguire who's having games. Like, you can't build a title-winning defense off players who aren't reliable.
Yeah, you need your starting choice centre backs to actually play at least 40 games a season. Like you would want them to 40 games a season.
Rio and Vidic did it. You know, Bruce Pallister, whichever way you want to look at, and they played every game together.
I would still keep Varane though. I think you need that sort of leader and mentality to be still around the club. I think even if he's not starting for us week in and week out, he would still contribute a lot to the team, and he can be a very, very good player for us. He would still be very, very involved because we know how Erik ten Hag plays and how he likes to make substitutions. So I would still go in for Kim Min-jae. And practically, and another bonus with Kim Min-jae is he knows how to play against Liverpool. He doesn't concede he doesn't concede goals against Liverpool.
Yeah. Well, there's many benefits. Let me just read a couple of comments out. Brian Casey saying Kim Min-jae would be a great signing for us, and for 50 million, it's a steal. Perfect long-term replacement for Varane. He's only 26 years old as well, which is great. Rasmus Højlund, Atlanta striker. Yeah, we've done a few pieces of him on our channel. Looks like a promising player, a bit of a poacher. Offer Napoli Harry Maguire and 50 million for him. I mean, we'd have to offer. I mean, they'd have to charge us more for taking Maguire on the runs and having to deal with him, I think. Charles Sam saying I prefer Timber because they're playing multiple positions, plus needs no time to settle in at the back because of Ten Hag and Martinez. I tend to agree with that. The chemistry would be there instantly. Yep. But the only thing with that, I've thought about this numerous times, is you'd have a bit of a small defence then if you had Lisandro and Timber. I know Lisandro's great in the air, and I think Timber's all right himself. But it is a very small back line that I think you've got like a 5'8", 5'10" back line. And I think some people might start targeting that. Lies around me saying sell Maguire, McTominay, Fred, Bailly, Dalot, Sancho, Martial, De Gea. I think I would keep Dalot. Agree with that. Dalot, sorry, I didn't even see Dalot in there. Yeah, I would probably agree with that, but United won't do it. Honestly, we say this so many times every summer. We're heading in with like sell him, get rid of his wages.
If we manage to even sell 5 players, it would be a blessing.
It would be a madness if we managed to sell that many players. The only reason why we got rid of so many last season is because they just coming to the end of the contract. Yeah, and they left. That's the only reason why. Apart from that, they'd still be at this club now if we had to sell them. I guarantee it. And Jesus, I can't even imagine if Pogba and other players were still there. It'd be absolutely mental. Out of that list, I'd keep Dalot and De Gea. Thoughts on Phil Jones? Can he make a comeback? No.
He hasn't had one training session under 10.
No, he's gone in the summer, believe it or not. Him and Butland have had the easiest jobs ever at United.
Butland got a trophy.
Well, yeah, at least Butland's on the bench. Phil Jones is doing punditry or doing some, God knows where else he is. But
there has been nothing on him. I think he might have actually retired and we might not know. That's the thing.
You would, wouldn't you, at this point? Yeah. You played like one game in 465 days. It's just like, well, mate, like, I'm not being funny. You've probably got enough money in the bank now to go on whatever endeavour you kind of want to set out on. If you want to do punditry, if you want to do coaching, whatever. If you want to just be in the injury room, just helping players get through certain process, do that. You've got the experience.
Imagine Phil Jones is a fitness manager at the club. Next season.
Well, he'll know all about it, won't he? He's like, was it a knee? Oh, yeah, I know all about that. Was it a leg? Yeah, all that. Shoulder injury, done that before. Concussion, definitely done that. But just the last bit, whilst we're on the topic of centre-backs diving into things, you mentioned that about Kim Min-jae, that he gets stuck right in. His overall ability, for what we discussed, seems like a fantastic player. Seems like he'd fit in at Manchester United. But how big would it be as well for the Asian community? You look at Son for Spurs, Mitoma at Brighton, even Park Ji-sung, who was at United, who was a star in his own right. that's another kind of asset to it as well. You get these countries kind of following the player, don't you?
Yeah, and if the players are quality, then it's actually a win-win situation on both sides. I'm still waiting to see an Indian player in the in the Premier League. It's
I
still a
can't
dream.
wait for it.
Yeah,
if United sign an Indian player, oh
me
my
and
god,
Dan
I cannot wait.
and Dan will come to Manchester. Just for
he
his
can play
opening
shit every single game, and you guys will just be like, no, man of the match, top performer for me.
I mean, we managed to play, Harry Maguire for like 2 to 3 seasons. We can play an Indian player as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and
that's what you'll be saying after he scores.
Yeah, and it's still a dream. And I think right now if I actually look into it, the Korean community, the Japanese community, they are producing a lot of like really really good players. And whenever the World Cup actually comes around, you see these two teams actually doing really well, especially Japan. Like this World Cup, Japan, the way
the
they
kit
made
as well. The kit was beautiful.
Kit.
I want that. Ten Hag should have given a chance when Maguire, Varane and Martinez were out in the FA Cup game. Should have a chance when Maguire, Varane and Martinez. Given a chance to who? Oh, Phil Jones. Oh, sorry, I just got what you're saying there. Nobody mentions this. Ten Hag, Man United has had some really bad injuries, lose players for key periods and not really having a squad. And Glazer's not buying in January. Yeah, well, we got Vegas, didn't we? Arsenal got Trossard and they're trying to sign Casado.
Trossard for 20 million.
Chelsea got João Felix, and didn't they sign Mudryk in January as well?
Yeah, they signed Mudryk, they signed
and we got Vegas
they signed
on loan.
Madueke. I don't know how Enzo Fernandez they signed in the winter window as well. They signed a lot of players, 6 to 8 players.
Yeah, Hamza Chowdhury at Leicester has Indian heritage. I think he might. I'm not sure. I have to double check that. Yeah, Again, I'm not really in the clear about that, but I think we're in agreement. Having Kim Minje come over, starting for Manchester United potentially, it could be a really, really good signing. And at the age of 26, very similar age to Sancho.
Yeah,
there's your partnership there for the next 4-5 years. So happy days with that. Let's see what happens. Moving on to the last part of the show, Shreyas, we've got the Women's FA Cup final today. United's women's teams are currently top of the WSL. We play in the final against Chelsea, and we're actually, I think Chelsea is second in the league as well, so very close. Amazing for them in it, and just seems like football continues. Men's football, the way it's on the trajectory that it's on.
Yeah, I think it's growing. It definitely is growing. And I think it is on a good path right now. I think more and more people, as time is passing, more and more people are actually, circulating and watching those games as well. Because, at the end of the day, it's football. No matter who actually wears that jersey, they're playing football. And if they're playing the game really well and you like to watch the game, then you should watch it as well. And I think, right now it is at a particular level. Fast forward to 2 to 3 years more, probably they might get even more viewership than they do now. Probably we might be seeing a situation where men's World Cup as well as women's World Cup might be around the same standards when it comes to viewership. So which would be a very very exciting exciting thing to see as well. And when it comes to club football, if it gets replicated in the same way as well, it wouldn't hurt to actually see United win two league cups in a year. Yeah.
Absolutely not. That's what I mean. And I think there's always been a stigma attached with women's football because the one thing is, it's as simple as this. The quality is just nowhere near as good as the men's football. And it has, like, for years, especially we watched it years ago, it was just miles apart. But I've actually watched games recently where I've been like, oh, actually, not bad. Not bad. Like, the football it's been okay and it's getting better. And I think if you can get to that level where, I don't know, I reckon if you put a team now against a championship team, they'd probably struggle, like a men's championship team. But if they continue to push in the way they're going, you've had the England's women's team win the Euros, the United's team doing really, really well now. You're starting to get a few stars like Russo, who's coming out of the fold. I think you can. I think if you just keep it on that trajectory. I mean, they sold out, was it Wembley or Old Trafford last week, I think it was, for a game. So, yeah, really, really good. Happy for him. And I get why some people didn't watch it at the start. The quality was bad. But honestly, if you watch it now, it's going like that. It's getting better. So happy for them. Having both teams in the FA Cup final, men's and women's, and Premier League as well. They're top of the Premier League. We're not, but we're top 4. So both teams doing relatively successful, and you think when the new owner's coming in, depending on who it is, they're going to have significant investment in the women's team as well. So happy for them and buzzing. We've got Hani Askari saying, does Shreyas watch IPL? If yes, what's his team? Please ask him.
I won't say.
You won't say?
Yeah, because my team never wins. It never, like the serious. My team is the Tottenham of the Indian Premier League of cricket. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they managed to come into finals, but we've lost by 9 runs. We've lost by 8 runs. Somehow we just managed to lose finals every single time we get anywhere near it.
You've left me on a cliffhanger now. I want to know who it is.
Yeah.
Is it Dynamo? I'm sure you told me. Is it Dynamo?
No, he's talking about cricket. He's not talking about football.
I know. Who's the cricket team? I want to know.
Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Royal Challengers Bangalore. I'm going to do some research on them and see what they're saying.
Yeah, they've got the best cricketer in the world, but they still aren't able to win for the past 15 to 16 years.
Wow. Commiserations to... I can't remember the name. Them people, what you just said. Shreya just said. Liza Rami says, women's football, I'm out. Catch you guys later. Just kidding. Good luck, girls. Let's bring it home. Come on, United. Love that. A little bit of banter there. Giles Houston in the chat. Make sure you smash a like on the video, guys, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra membership every single week, you get content every single Monday, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show. Click the join button next to the notification bell. It's like £4 a month, and it helps support the channel, helps us get big guests on and develop the content even more. So I appreciate everyone who's a Real Red Ultra currently. Giles is saying, I think they would go do Timber over Kim Min due to Timber's ability to move into the right back or cover at DM, whereas Kim would ideally be better centre defence. Let me guess, right centre back. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting with that centre-back situation. I suppose we have to wait. No one really knows what's happening in the summer because, as we've already touched on, the ownership situation is dragging on. So we could end up with Maguire starting next season, with Varane with an injury. You just don't fucking know. You really don't know. So, yeah. The last bit I want to touch on very quickly. Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough in the playoff finals today as well against Coventry. Shreyas. Him and McKenna obviously done fantastic jobs at their clubs. McKenna's done a fantastic job at Ipswich. You've had Carrick doing really, really well at Middlesbrough. Why do you think they didn't fulfil the potential at United? Because they're doing so well in management now. What is it? I mean, I'm not asking you to come up with an answer because I don't know myself, but it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe it's the profile of players they were working with. Maybe it was because, probably behind the scenes, the management was stressing on them to actually pick certain players, and, by picking certain players, they were only allowed to play in a certain kind of way. And even if you see how Carrick plays at Middlesbrough right now, you put Maguire in at centre-back in that sort of a system, they would start to concede a lot more goals than they originally do. We've seen it with Ten Hag as well. Like Ten Hag, the play. Whenever Maguire started a game, we saw what happened at the start of the season, and that was the only game we lost at Old Trafford in entirety, the whole of the season. So one sec.
Sorry.
Oh,
connection.
Yeah, one sec.
Connection gone?
No, it's back. Yeah, all good.
Are we okay? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, just very last. I was looking at Middlesbrough, so he's took them from near the bottom of the table to 4th.
Yeah.
Right now, on 75 points, which is why they're playing today against Coventry and the thing. Could you imagine if they did that with Champions League spots? So the top 2 would get in the Champions League, but then we had Newcastle and United playing it out for the final spot in the Champions League. It'd be interesting that. I can see why they do it because it's a big attraction in the playoffs, and I'll be certainly watching that later on. So good luck to Michael Carrick. Very quick, did you see the quote from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer about Carrick being United manager?
No, I just saw his quote about Erling Haaland, and I was very, very sad about it.
Yeah, well, Haaland for £4 million. Jesus Christ,
£4 million
talk to me about that. Haaland. 4 million, by the way, 4 million, 4 million. Oh my God!
For a striker who can score 50 goals a season.
United's recruitment. Casado for £5 million. Well. You could have had Casado and Haaland for £9 million, who are both arguably worth now over £200 million. Erling Haaland's about 150, Casado's about 80. So you could have saved yourself £235 million or something just by using your fucking brain.
Yeah, it's similar. I think our scouting department and how the club works is very similar to Tottenham's. Like the way they go for players as well. Tottenham were gonna sign Kvaratskhelia this season but they thought that Kvaratskhelia is not worth 8 million euros.
Surely they must have learned by now, though. Surely just look at the track record and go, right, we didn't get him.
Yeah.
He's now the top goal scorer here. We didn't get him. He's now their starting centre back. We didn't get him. He's worth £80 million.
Let's just go through the list. Like, once again, Haaland, we didn't sign. We didn't sign Nathan Ake. We didn't sign. We didn't sign Casado. We didn't sign Gakpo. We didn't sign Darwin Núñez. We didn't sign Tchouaméni. With De Jong, Vitinha. Jadon Sancho, somehow we signed after 3 seasons. And
I remember it was close to signing Ronaldinho as well, and we didn't sign him. We know the story with that. So,
but at least we were able to, still carry on and be successful at that time. Right now, we are nowhere near that position. True. And we could have signed Thiago as well, but we didn't go in for Thiago.
Fabregas, Gareth Bale. I mean, there's endless list. And I know every club has this. Every single club has this, but even recently on the Ragnick, he mentioned Julian Alvarez.
Yeah,
he mentioned Enzo Fernandez.
Julian Alvarez, Vlahovic.
Both £15 million, by the way, at the time. And Nkunku as well. It was like, we should be wrong, but United didn't sign this world-class player. They decided to go get, I don't know, a Fellaini or a 30-year-old Falcao with biscuit knees. Or it's continuous, isn't it? It really is.
If you just look into the last 5 seasons or 4 seasons, we've managed to not sign like 20 to 25 world-class players for basically 5 to 10 million euros. Just 5 to 10 million euros. But we thought that going in for players worth 80 million and 90 million and 100 million is a much better plan.
Yeah, you don't know. Let's go sign this, I don't know, this snail of a centre-back from Leicester who's doing well because he's camping on the edge of his 18-yard box for £80 million. English tax, Premier League tax, United tax, all that jazz.
In a way, it's very funny, but if you think in a way, we didn't sign Erling Haaland and we signed Odion Ighalo to Manchester United.
Yeah, wow. That tells you everything you need to know. Then I was talking about the Glazers. And they spent this and they've done that. Yeah, have you seen who they left in charge of recruitment, mate? It's the equivalent to me giving my little cousin 200 grand and saying, go to the shop and get something. He's just going to spend it on absolute shit, innit? Like, that's what the Glazers have done. And they left him in charge because they benefited them commercially and financially. Not on that side of things, obviously the recruitment, but commercial deals, all that kind of jazz. Anyway, we've gone off on a bit of a tangent there. The main question was, did you see the quote from Ole about Carrick? And he said he thinks he'll definitely be a Manchester United manager.
He could be.
At some point, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And I remember when he first taken over, what were the games that he played? I think it was
Villarreal. Played against Villarreal, we won. He played against Arsenal, we won. The 2 games that
Arsenal,
he was
we won. And then there was a draw in there as well, wasn't there?
Chelsea, a draw. Chelsea, a draw last season.
I mean, Casemiro scored header.
No. Last season. It was Sancho who got his first ever goal for United.
Did he pinch it?
Yeah, Bruno pinned it in the air and Sancho and Rashford were running. Sancho was able to get the ball off Jorginho and just run through.
Jorginho miscontrolled it and then he went through. Yeah. He went square. Rashford faked it and then finished, didn't he? Yeah, I remember. Wow, that seems like so long ago now. Yeah. But yeah, he did an alright job, didn't he? He went back to like a basic 4-3-3. I think he had Donny in the midfield.
Yeah, against Villarreal, he went in with a 4-1-2-1-2. You got Telles and Dalot in as well. So in the games that he was there at United, he managed to have, he didn't lose any single game. He got 2 wins and a draw. And right now he's doing well with Middlesbrough. I would still wait. I would still genuinely wait. I think even if you have to get someone like him in, at least wait for 3 to 4 more seasons. Like we've seen.
Oh yeah. Like, look, I'm not writing 10 out by the way. I'm just saying this is what Ollie said.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
if Ten Hag is doing a good job, I would keep him 10, 15 years. I don't mind.
But let him stay here.
Yeah, because I think it's been a long time that any manager in the Premier League has left behind a dynasty. Like 10 to 15 years worth in the top 6. I think there is still no one who's been in the job that long, and probably we can build something like that under Ten Hag, and I would love Ten Hag to be that sort of manager. I still think that he's the correct guy to do the job. But yeah, I think whenever we go past Ten Hag, I think Carrick could be an option. I think even Wayne Rooney could be an option as well. He's into management.
I'm not entirely assured on Wayne Rooney. I think he's done all right with the jobs that he's done. Carrick I'm more leaning towards because I've seen his philosophy, his style of play, and I feel like that would suit us a bit more.
Ruud van Nistelrooy is a good option as well. He's been doing a fine
Yeah,
job
he's
at
done well with
PSV.
PSV. Just won the league, hasn't he?
Yeah.
With PSV, is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just feel any affiliation with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not going to be welcomed, is it? If it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not going to be
Yeah.
welcomed. So I don't know, but that's something for the future. I don't believe he will myself. But look, good luck to him and Middlesbrough today. They are in the playoffs against Coventry. So hopefully he'll get up to the Premier League and we might be playing against him next season. Let's see what happens with that. That is the end of the show for today, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We've all had a lovely Sunday afternoon so far. Enjoy the games today. Who's on today? Very quickly. I know Arsenal and City are playing, aren't they?
Yeah, one second.
I think. So we've got Brentford against West Ham, Everton against Man City, Arsenal against Brighton, which is a very interesting game. I think this. I'm going to call it now.
Brighton minute.
I think this is where Arsenal lose the league today.
Yeah. They already lost
Genuinely.
it, but today it just cements it.
Yeah, I think Everton might be a bit of a struggle for Man City. I
don't think so.
I know when they've been to Goodison before, I think they've struggled. The atmosphere
But I think
Everton
right now the kind of form
Everton.
they are in, I think the only team that can stop them would be us in the FA Cup final or Madrid.
Oh, that Madrid game, by the way. Can't wait for that. Cannot wait. What a game that was, the first one. But yeah, I mean, Everton in the last game beat Brighton 5-1. How crazy is that?
What?
Absolutely. Yeah. Last week, in the last game, they beat Brighton 5-1. Mental. So I think it'll be tough. I think City will win it, but I just don't think they'll absolutely batter them.
If Everton won, what's the relegation battle looking like? Southampton have been relegated for sure.
Yeah, Southampton are down.
Leicester on 30.
Leicester's
Leeds on 31.
scraper.
Everton are on 32. They need to get at least a draw. Like, at least a draw they need to get.
Well, the report ahead of Leeds, and they've got a game in hand. So if they get a draw, that could be big for them. But Everton's... have you seen Everton's running?
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
Their last 3 games, let me just pull it up. They've got... I want to speak to Alex about this. I might get him on the Premier League roundup. I'm speaking to him. They've got Man City, Wolves away, and then Bournemouth. So saying that, Wolves are on holiday, so it might not be too much of a tough game. But that City game and Bournemouth potentially could be hard. So, yeah.
Leicester might actually go down. Like, now that I'm seeing and let me
30
see
points.
They've got
35 games.
Leicester have got Liverpool, Newcastle, and West Ham left.
I'm praying they do something on Monday. They're at home at King Power against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But they leaked so many goals, and with Salah being in the form that he's in the minute, it's going to be tough.
If they go down, snatch their players.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens anyway, Shreyas. We're going to wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely Sunday watching the football, eating your roast dinners, whatever it is you're doing around the planet. Drop us a follow on socials if you haven't already for regular clips from the show and transfer updates. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Real Red Star. All the graphics are at the bottom of your screen there. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra for a chance to feature on the show, a badge next to your name, and exclusive content every single Monday, which only you guys get to see, then click that join button next to the notification bell. As always, Shreyas, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and hopefully we see something good in the next coming fixtures as well. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. See you guys later. Have a lovely week. In a bit.
Bye-bye.